This is the North Auckland lineup for this match today, which includes Terry Brock, an 18-year-old playing on the wing and making his first appearance in first-class rugby. And playing inside of him at centre is Brad Keeney, taking the place of Charles Going, who's unavailable for rugby on Sundays. Former King Country representative Kurt McQuilkin replaces an injured Ian Dunn at first 5'8". But perhaps the most important change in the North Auckland side today is they have a new captain, 24-year-old hooker Mike Barry, son of the 1960s All Black Kevin Barry. Argentina fielding an air test lineup for this, their opening tour match. The back line built around the experience and attacking qualities of the club San Isidro teammates, the trio of Lafreda and Cuesta Silva in the centres and Madero at first 5'8". Only two newcomers in the Argentinian side today, winger Marcelo Rigantini and the hooker Ricardo Lafort, both wearing the blue and white jersey for the very first time. Mr. Jeff Smith from Hawke's Bay indicates to both teams that this Argentinian tour of New Zealand can now get underway. The Argentinians, who have been treated to a sparkling day here in the winterless north, and already the Argentinians, even before the ball had landed, had infringed, getting ahead of the kicker Rafael Madero, their first 5'8", the most experienced member of their team, and not a terribly auspicious start from the Argentinians as they concede a scrum on halfway in the first minute. The Argentinian side today, which is more or less the same team that struggled to beat an experimental Italian team last Saturday in Buenos Aires. From that first scrum, it's Warren Johnson who has to clear up hurriedly, but he kicks the ball into touch, and so we will have the scrum just outside the North Auckland 22. This is one of the only two newcomers in the Argentinian side today, Ricardo Lafort, their new hooker, as it taps back by Milano at the back of the line out for Argentina on the 22. No wind at all here, perfect conditions. The ground couldn't be in better condition, as well as Madero testing Johnson. And already there is a scuffle off the ball while Johnson was waiting under that catch from Madero. It's a powerful, solidly built fullback who such a marvellous season for North Auckland last year, broke all sorts of records with his goal kicking. 155 points in 14 matches last year. And Lafort again to feed this line out, just a few metres outside the 22. And some shoving at the back of the line out there. And yes, the referee, Mr. Smith, saw that interference on one of those North Auckland players at the back of the line out by one of the Argentinian loose forwards, and a defensive penalty to the home team. And a superb kick by the North Auckland fullback puts his team on attack for the first time in the match. Good, clean two-handed take by Ian Jones, who's playing in front of two of the All Black selectors, John Hart and Grizz Wiley here this afternoon. And the North Auckland backs for the first time. This is Kaufman and Woodman coming in from the right-hand side, playing in his 100th match today. And North Auckland received the penalty for those Argentinian backs up offside, and this is eminently kickable for Warren Johnston, right out in front and 30 metres from the posts. Just what the home team wanted, early points. So after just 3 minutes of play, Warren Johnston brings up his 100 points for the season, and the home side ahead by 3 points to 0. Rugged prop forward at the front of the line out. And it's Dengra that takes the tap as well. Thrusting his way up towards the 22, cleared quickly for Madero. Here comes the drop. Charged down, however, by Ian Jones. The ball has gone loose. Just a couple of metres outside the 22. Baetti looking for Madero. As North Auckland backs up on him very quickly. Lafreda. The referee playing advantage there to Argentina for those North Auckland backs who are up too quick offside. There was none, and so a chance now for Argentina to reply with an early opportunity. And it's Baetti, the halfback, who'll kick for goal. And no trouble at all for the oldest member in the Argentinian side, Daniel Baetti, levels the scores after 6 minutes of play. It's there for Baetti. Again, not a particularly good pass. Back to Lafreda. Cuesta Silva held up just a metre short of the line. And over they go. What does the referee say? Too many bodies on that ball. 5-metre scrum. Carried back by North Auckland. They attempt to screw the scrum. It's on the line, and yes, the try is scored. The Argentinian scrum just shoving North Auckland back, and as soon as the ball got over the line, let's see who comes up with it. It could well be Gustavo Milano, the number 8. It is, in fact, the big man at the back of the scrum who gets the try, the first of the tour for the Argentinians. They're out to 7 points to 3 ahead. This could be a very familiar sight in the next few weeks, this powerful Argentinian scrum wheeling North Auckland off the ball, over the line. The ball is loose, and no doubt about it, Milano got the try. Paeti adds the extra 2 points, and the Argentinians out to a 9-3 lead midway through the first spell. So what can the Pumas cook up here from just 2 metres outside their 22? Paeti going the short side, giving chases to Rigantini as well. Hull waiting underneath it, 2 metres from his own line. And some of those Argentinian forwards a little slow to arrive there. And this gives North Auckland time to clear the ball through Brad Keeney. He hasn't found touch. Alejandro Scolny, the fullback. Oh, some tricky work there from Scolny. Argentina keep the momentum going, 10 metres short of the line. Paeti is looking for it. Madero sells the dummy, but runs into a wall of North Auckland players, just 2 metres short of the line. Plenty of pressure coming here from the Argentinians. Serafin Denga tries to free it, gets as far as Lafreda. And the penalty against North Auckland. Dengra managing to get the ball to Cuesta Silva. Now it was Lafreda that made this dinky little run. And in there he was tackled by a high tackle according to the referee. And the penalty goes to Argentina. This is Paeti trying to convert it into 3 points. Another success to the halfback Daniel Paeti, and Argentina lead by 12 points to 3 after 25 minutes of play. An interesting position here for North Auckland in centre field inside the Argentinian half, and they move it quickly on the blind side, but the ball has been left behind by Terry Brock, who hasn't seen much of the ball today, the newcomer on the left wing for North Auckland today. And this time it's the North Auckland forwards penalised for coming in over the top of the player who'd been tackled, and another opportunity here for Argentina to extend their lead. But not a breath of wind here at Okara Park today. Not a bad looking kick from Paeti. It's another 3-pointer to the fullback turned halfback, who certainly has brought with him his goal kicking skills. Another success for Paeti, and it's 15 points to 3 after 28 minutes of play in the first half. Hull having a little dab on his own, carried on by Lamborn over the 22. One of the few excursions North Auckland have made inside the Argentinian 22 in this half. McQuilkin, the North Auckland forwards there to carry it on. This is better stuff from North Auckland. Keeney, the long pass to Seymour. Keeney double jump, but the ball has gone loose. Now the race is on. But once more, those Argentinian backs up offside. That's been the 5th or 6th time we've seen that from set pieces this afternoon. And this should be a gift of 3 points to Warren Johnston. His second success today. Mr. Smith looks at his watch and signals the end of the first 40 minutes. That's half-time here at Okara Park, with the visitors off to a promising start on their tour of New Zealand, leading by 15 points to 6. Now, another opportunity here for North Auckland. McQuilkin to Seymour. Good solid defence, however, from Cuesta Silva and those midfield backs in the Argentinian side. No way through there. But another scrum to North Auckland inside the Argentina 22. McQuilkin has on his opposite number, but doesn't get past Madeira. He takes him into tackle. The North Auckland forwards arrive there. They mean business. It's there now for Johnson up from fullback, trying to run in Brock. And yes, Terry Brock, he might still make something out of this. But there was the best try-scoring opportunity going begging for North Auckland. Johnston just couldn't quite get that ball into the arms of Brock. But they get a penalty out of it anyway. Now Warren Johnston, who almost puts Brock in the clear here, as you can see, getting the pass around behind the defender, but Brock just had to pick it up off the ground. That gave the cover defence the opportunity to get back. Now North Auckland taking a tap penalty from a couple of metres short of the line. As big Bill Declare prop forward charges for the line. Brock again, squeezed by the cover defence a metre short of the line. No way through there for the young Terry Brock, the 18-year-old on the left wing. Hull is off again. The whistle had gone. He's really having a very good game at halfback today, this terrier-like player, Chris Hull. Willie Phillips holding it there for Neil Ruddle, and he gets the try. Clever little variation there from North Auckland, confused the Argentinian defence, and Neil Ruddle, the most experienced member in their team, bullocked his way over for the try. Now look at this, it's Willie Phillips that takes it off the back of the scrum, doesn't feed it to the halfback, instead feeds it to Ruddle, and a little gap opened up and through went Neil Ruddle for the try. Flag on the right-hand side of the picture is the North Auckland 22. There's Barry looking for Ian Jones, but it's tapped down by Milano. Madeira, Lafreda, the little dummy from Lafreda, up to the 22. Sconley, the fullback, goes in looking for it. In there as well as Cuesta Silva. Madero. Over the 22. Pablo Puabsi has a charge taken by Lambourne, but the Argentinians making progress. Another 10 metres. They work it down. Back to Pablo Dionisio. No way through there for the loose forward. Controlled rugby here from the South Americans as they again put pressure on the North Auckland line. They're only 10 metres short and hanging onto the ball and not allowing the player to release it. Penalty goes to Argentina. Fourth penalty success today for the Argentinian halfback Paetti. It's 18 points to 10, and he scored 14 of those points and 4 penalties under conversion. Lambourne, Ruddle, but it's come back on the South American side, and away goes Ian Jones, scooping up the intercept from the line out. And again, caught offside, those Argentinian forwards, and another penalty inside the Argentinian half to North Auckland as they take the tap, carried on by Frank Lambourne. And I'm afraid not retiring fast enough, the Argentinians, so it's another penalty to North Auckland, putting pressure on the Pumas here, and there it is, 3 in a row as they say, just as quickly as that, and this time they must kick the goal surely. Nope, a little tap. Not a bad looking kick from Johnston either. Willie Phillips is up there charging, the ball is loose on the line. But it was Paetti that fell on it. Very good kick nonetheless from Johnston. Tremendous height, giving his players plenty of time to get underneath the ball. Madero with the restart. This is Dengra coming away with it over the 22. McQuilkin looking for some support. Finds it in the form of Mike Budd. Chris Hull, the halfback, is there. The North Auckland forwards have it. Bill Declare turns it back now for Hull. Seymour. Once again. Those midfield backs caught offside. And Chris Hull with the ball inside the 22 and right out in front. Success at last for Warren Johnston, and the gap between the two teams narrowed to 5 points, and the Argentinians in a bit of trouble here. Now play has resumed, even though there is an injury being attended to 50 metres away in the other half of the field, and at the moment the Pumas without their regular halfback. Off the back of the line out goes Lamborn inside the Pumas 22. Chris Hull looking for it, it's there, centre field, he can go either way here. They're lined out on both sides. An infringement again by the Argentinians in that ruck. Caught offside, and so another opportunity here for Johnson, and this should be a gift, 3 points. This is the easiest kick at goal he's had all day. No problems for Warren Johnson. That's 2 successes in the space of a couple of minutes, and it's improved his ratio for the day. He's landed 4 out of 8 now, and the North Aucklanders within striking distance of victory over the Argentinians, with still 15 minutes for the match to run. Mr. Smith waiting for the ball to be returned before the scrum could go down properly. There's a strike against the head, in fact the first one we've seen in the match so far today. Gustavo Milano going off the back of the scrum. Now there's an overlap here, they've got to move it fast. Across to the man on the left wing, Christian Mendy. Can he get over? Some very quick cover defence put together there by North Auckland, because there was a 3-on-2 situation there for the Pumas. But the North Aucklanders scampered back extra quickly and snuffed out that promising move for the Argentinians. That's another good scrum by the Pumas, a couple of metres short of the line. The referee, yes, was right on hand. The sheer weight and the sheer numbers from the Pumas pack, too much for North Auckland, who really did disintegrate in the face of that powerful surge. Their second try of the match, and it's 22 points to 16. Well, we'll see if we can spot the try scorer. It's at the feet of Gustavo Milano, who's got 1 try already so far today. And he may well have got the second one as well. Rafael Madero, their first 5'8", the most experienced member of their team, and not a terribly auspicious start from the Argentinians, as they concede a scrum on halfway in the first minute. The Argentinian side today, which is more or less the same team that struggled to beat an experimental Italian team last Saturday in Buenos Aires. From that first scrum, it's Warren Johnson who has to clear up hurriedly, but he kicks the ball into touch, and so we will have the scrum just outside the North Auckland 22. This is one of the only 2 newcomers in the Argentinian side today, Ricardo Lafort. This is the North Auckland line-out for this match today, which includes Terry Brock, an 18-year-old playing on the wing and making his first appearance in first-class rugby. And playing inside of him at centre is Brad Keeney, taking the place of Charles Going, who's unavailable for rugby on Sundays. Former King Country representative Kurt McQuilkin replaces an injured Ian Dunn at first 5'8". But perhaps the most important change in the North Auckland side today is they have a new captain, 24-year-old hooker Mike Barry, son of the 1960s All Black Kevin Barry. Argentina fielding an air test lineup for this, their opening tour match. The back line built around the experience, their new hooker, as it taps back by Milano at the back of the line out for Argentina on the 22. No wind at all here, perfect conditions. The ground couldn't be in better condition, as well as Madero. Testing Johnson. And already there is a scuffle off the ball while Johnson was waiting under that catch from Madero. Powerful, solidly built fullback who had such a marvellous season for North Auckland last year, broke all sorts of experience and attacking qualities of the club San Isidro teammates, the trio of Lafreda and Cuesta Silva in the centres, and Madero at first 5'8". Only 2 newcomers in the Argentinian side today, winger Marcelo Rigantini and the hooker Ricardo Lafort, both wearing the blue and white jersey for the very first time. Mr. Jeff Smith from Hawke's Bay indicates to both teams that this Argentinian tour of New Zealand can now get underway. The Argentinians, who have been treated to a sparkling day here in the winterless north, and already the Argentinians, even before the ball had landed, had infringed, getting ahead of the kicker out of records with his goal kicking. 155 points in 14 matches last year. And fought again to feed this line out just a few metres outside the 22. And some shoving at the back of the line out there. And yes, the referee, Mr. Smith, saw that interference on one of those North Auckland players at the back of the line out by one of the Argentinian loose forwards, and a defensive penalty to the home team. And a superb kick by the North Auckland fullback puts his team on a